Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse McFarlane Collector's Edition Batman. Not only that, but this is Batman as Green Lantern. This is part of the third wave of Collector's Edition figures. I pre-ordered this guy for the McFarlane toy store, and it finally arrived today. Now there is a Platinum Chase variant of Batman, as well as the other figures in this line. If anybody has a lead on where I might be able to get one, drop me a line in the comments below. Much appreciated. In the meantime, let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, McFarlane Collector's Edition, DC Multiverse, Batman. Here he is in the package. Looks like we have a total of 6 hands. Looks like 2 lantern constructs for his fists, an actual power lantern, and then we have a collector's card, display stand for the collector's card, and I'm assuming a regular display stand in there as well. Can't quite see from this point of view. One side of the package, McFarlane Collector's Edition, Batman as Green Lantern. Number 7 in the Collector's Edition subline. Other side, not too much going on. At the back, here's Batman as Green Lantern. What a cool concept. And at the bottom, there's this barcode, in case that helps anybody. I believe this is Batman from the Elseworld story, but we'll confirm that when we check out the card. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And I did end up getting the entire wave for the McFarlane toy store. I used the 10% discount code and the bundle discount, and even after shipping and taxes, it was a little bit less than retail. They're finally here. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He comes with 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands, a display stand, a collector's card, a display stand for his collector's card, a lantern battery, and then 2 constructs for his fists. But before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Batman as Green Lantern. It's a really cool concept, and originally when I saw the figure I thought it was from the Elseworlds book from the 90s, but that is not the case. This is actually from Green Lantern number 9 in 2006, when Batman wore the power ring. Batman and Green Lantern were fighting the tattooed man. I checked my collection, looks like I don't have that issue. Still, pretty cool. It's a very cool concept. Batman using the power ring. He has very strong willpower. He would probably be a great candidate for a lantern. So Batman has been Green Lantern more than once. He's also been a White Lantern. And that's what I thought the Platinum Chase this guy would be. The White Lantern version instead of that stupid energy version we're getting. Anyway, get a little off topic. Let's get back to the figure and check him out. So I believe it to be on the 3 Jokers Batman body. Now looking at his face, he looks evil. He's like screaming. But he's not an evil Green Lantern Batman, so I'm not really fond of the screaming head choice they made, but it could be cool when he's using his constructs and punching somebody, etc. Ears, a little bit bent in, easy fix. Let's go further down. I recognize that body. The bottom half is from Hush, the top half is from 3 Jokers. He's got silver gauntlets, paint job very nice, shiny. Why didn't they paint Mr. Freeze like that? He's got the actual power ring on his hand. Love when they have details like that. It does look like the 3 Jokers Batman legs. We'll check that out in depth later. Double jointed knees, double jointed elbows. Cape looks pretty good. Also looks very familiar. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. I really have to fix those ears. Don't like the screaming head sculpt. And he has that really annoying head and neck, one solid piece that the Hush Batman and 3 Jokers Batman always have. I find that very annoying. I prefer when the neck is part of the torso and the head is separate. Allows for head swaps. Not that head swapping this guy is going to get you anywhere. These guys are green. Not going to be useful for any other Batman figures. The head itself is pretty good for what it's supposed to be, but man, it just really looks like an evil version of Batman to me. So I went ahead and fixed his ears. Dipped them into some boiling water and they straightened right up. But when messing with his head, kind of noticed he has this horrible gap below his neck, between his cape. I mean, look at that. The shadow kind of makes it blend in. You don't notice it at first because it's dark. But unless Batman is literally looking down, kind of like this, he has this big gap in there and it looks like shit. You can even sort of see the peg underneath. I don't understand how they could leave a big old hole like that. When he's looking straight forward, there's a giant hole at the bottom of his neck. Like I said, unless you have him like this, it looks bad. Once you see it, it's kind of hard to unsee. Yes, the darkness around it, the shadow, does help it blend. But if you have him looking up, man, Bad job there, McFarlane. And then here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's the display stand. It's the same McFarlane display stand we've seen a million times before. Only difference is this one has DC and silver at the bottom. It's very thin, very basic. Now for his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Batman holding the Lantern Power Ring. McFarlane Collector's Edition. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. And it doesn't really do much for me, but if you want to display the collector's card next to the figure, here you go. It's a shame to see. This is where the extra money goes with the collector's edition line. Now for his hands. He has a total of 6 of them, 2 right hands and 4 left hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here, with his second pair, this is a pair of gripping hands. And he still has 2 additional left hands. This one looks like it's sort of a grabbing hand. And here's his final left hand. This is an open hand. Could be a flight hand. Now let's look at his lantern constructs. These are basically going to be allowing to make a super punch, lantern energy around his fists. It's made in a sort of semi-transparent plastic, although you can't really see through it very much. You can see where his hands will fit on the inside. These lantern effects are definitely reused from a previous McFarlane Green Lantern figure, which is annoying because these collector's edition figures have a premium price of $30, and I don't mind reuse, I just mind paying an extra price for reuse. Here's Batman utilizing those lantern effects. Then we have this lantern battery. It's made in a dark green, sort of semi-transparent. No articulation. Batman can recharge his power ring this way. Here's Batman carrying that lantern battery. Here's Batman charging his power ring in the lantern battery. Another construct I thought would be cool for this Batman is this Bat construct that came with Dawnbreaker. And since they released Dawnbreaker 2 times, I have 2 of these constructs. Here's Batman holding those 2 Bat constructs. Actually looks really cool. Now I wanted to check out the differences between this Green Lantern Batman and the original 3 Jokers Batman, and there are not very many. So obviously, their heads are completely different. As we go further down, the top part of the torso is a little bit modded for this guy. It doesn't have the bat symbol there, but I can tell it's the same sculpt. The bottom part of the torso is 100% the same. You can see the same lines of fabric. The diaper area appears to be exactly the same. You can see the belt, simply just painted silver. The arms, the gauntlet's the same. The hands are even the same. Repainting it the metallic silver really makes a world of difference, though. The legs, the boots are the same. The cape is the same. They are pretty much 100% the same, beyond the paint job and the head. To tell you the truth, I think it works. Now that I've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now for his height. From bottom to the top of his head, staying about 7.4 inches tall, which is going to translate to just under 19 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, about 7.8 inches tall. And now for his articulation. Start with his head here. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up, not too much, down quite a bit. Can't tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders, the ball joint, goes out more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got the butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest, increase the range of motion and cover the large gap that would be there. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows, they go all the way in. His wrist can rotate and it's going to be hinged as well. His torso, he's got a ball joint, rotate around, forward and back. Another one is waist, rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, very good range of motion in his torso area. Legs, complete as a splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is pretty good on this guy. Legs go forward about that much. Back not very much. Double jointed knees. And his ankle, forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock, and of course, to articulation. Here's a look at Batman and Hal Jordan in the Batcave. The story in Green Lantern number 9 is that the tattooed man is at Gotham City. Batman uncharacteristically asks for Green Lantern's help. After they deal with the tattooed man in the Batcave, Hal Jordan offers for him to use the power ring to sort of face his inner demons and fight them off. Batman puts the ring on, a bunch of bats come out, and eventually he makes images of his parents, and he decides he's not ready to get past his darkness. Batman tries on the ring, not quite sure what to expect. He starts off by sort of losing control and conjuring a bunch of bats. And here's Batman creating an image of his parents with the lantern energy, remembering just why he became Batman in the first place. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is with the rest of this wave. This is wave 3 of the McFarlane Collector's Edition figures. We have Justice League Incarnate Captain Carrot, we have the Green Lantern comic Batman x Green Lantern, and then with the return of Superman, Swole Superman. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, each of these 3 figures is a Platinum Chase variant. If anyone out there knows where I might be able to get one, let me know. And here he is, next to the previous wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and the Platinum Chase variants of Firestorm, Hawkman, and Sinestro. Then, next to the first wave of Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of the first appearance Superman, Alan Scott Green Lantern, and the Abyss. Now, the next Collector's Edition figure to come out is Wonder Woman. Mine's on the way, should have in the next couple days. And then the rumor I keep hearing is wave 4 is going to be Captain Boomerang, Penguin, and Starfire. And if they continue with the Platinum Chase trend with these figures, and I imagine they're going to, that brings up a lot of possibilities for that wave, if that ends up being true, and I hope it is. Now let's check him out next to some other McFarlane Green Lantern figures. Here he is next to Dawnbreaker. This is another version of Batman as Green Lantern. This is actually Bruce Wayne with the power ring. But I believe in this version, he's evil. He killed Green Lantern, took his ring, whereas the Batman on the left was given the ring by choice. Here he is next to Alan Scott, the original OG Green Lantern. Then next to Hal Jordan, the most well-known and main Green Lantern out there. And now next to John Stewart as Green Lantern. Next, with Kyle Rayner as Green Lantern. Here are absolutely all of the McFarlane DC Multiverse Green Lantern figures they've made so far. The only one I can think of on the leaked list is, I believe, a glow-in-the-dark Parallax Hal Jordan. And I think maybe I remember something about a classic Hal in a JLA Build-A-Figure wave. Here's this Batman next to the yellow lanterns they've made, Sinestro and Batman. And just cause, here he is next to some more yellow lantern figures. These are not McFarlane. The ones on the left are Mattel, and the ones on the right are NECA Yellow Lantern Predators. And here he is next to the red lanterns, Atrocitus and Batrocitus. Then, with Kyle Rayner as a blue lantern. And finally, next to some Batman, Superman, and Firestorm figures as black lanterns. Now let's check them out next to some Batman figures that share similar parts. Here he is with 3 Jokers Batman, which is almost identical to this guy except the head and the paint job. They made 2 different paint variations of the 3 Jokers Batman. Then, next to the Year 2 Batman that shares the majority of parts as well. And now, with the Batman and Spawn 2-pack Batman, this one also shares the majority of parts. So all 5 of these Batman figures have pretty much the exact same body. He also shares a lot of parts with the Hush Batman. The bottom part of the torso is the same, the top part is different. They also have pretty much equally long legs, making this a slightly too tall Batman figure. And here he is, in turn, next to the smaller Rebirth and Nightfall Batman figures. Now let's check him out next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is with the rest of his wave. And here he is next to the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive Gold Label Black and White accent Aquaman and Joker. Here's this Batman next to some recent McFarlane Toy Store exclusive figures. We have the line art sketch Black Manta, the Deadly Duo Joker, Patina variant of Merciless, and the Interrogation Room Heath Ledger Joker. And here he is next to the Batman and Robin movie wave, collective build with Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze. Then next to some recent Target exclusive Gold Label figures, Midnighter and Wave Rider. And now, with the Target exclusive Flashpoint wave, collective build Cyborg. Here's us Batman next to the glow-in-the-dark Amazon exclusive variants of the Infected Batman, Titan Joker, Swamp Thing, and John Stewart Green Lantern. And here, next to some Entertainment Earth exclusive figures, Blacklight and line art sketch variants. Then, next to the Injustice 2, Superman and Brainiac. And finally, next to the Last Night on Earth, Batman vs. Omega 2-pack. Now let's check him out next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know what designs you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work away smaller, and I'm going to include as many Batman and Green Lantern figures as I can during these comparisons. Here he is, next to some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, here he is, next to some Jack Specific Wrestling and some DST or Diamond Select toys. Here's this Batman, next to one of my wife's green Starbucks cups. And here he is, next to some DC Direct and some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Then, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a pretty cool Batman figure. I like the sort of idea of Batman with the power ring. He has very strong willpower. He wants to do good and rid the world of crime. He could do some really powerful things. I remember really liking the Elseworld story. And then I like the concept of sort of Green Lantern sharing with him. As far as an actual figure goes, it is a ton of reuse. But I actually think it works. This is what I call smart reuse. I don't really have a problem with it. It looks pretty close to source material. Yeah, this Batman body is a little bit big in my book, but I'm not too picky. I mean, is it the best thing they've released? No. I don't really understand why the majority of figures in the collector's edition are pure reuse. At one point, there was a budget to make this new sculpt in a $20 figure, and then we're reusing it for a $30 figure. Something just doesn't add up there. So the figure, Sculpt and Paint Shop are good, but a lot of reuse. Articulation, it's good. They've advanced a little bit since this point. The figure's a little bit dated. The accessories, honestly hate those punching effects and they suck. Lantern's cool. It could have come with some better constructs. If I were to rate this guy, probably going to give him a 7 out of 10. Almost teetering at 6.5, just because he's so expensive, some accessories suck, and it is pure reuse. Still, I do like the figure a lot, and I'm really happy to add him to the collection, add him to both my Batman collection and my Green Lantern collection. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.